I'm Jennifer Powell here with Take a Look. We are in the studio in downtown Lancaster with Ricardo and Joe from The Mix. The Mix is a youth development program located in downtown Lancaster, well, in Lancaster City, that has a mission of inspiring youth and empowering families. So let's get started learning a little bit about The Mix. Joe, would you introduce yourself?
Yep, I'm Joe, or Joseph, but Joe is just fine, and I am the Director of Marketing and Communications at The Mix, and I'm here with my guy that I see every day. I'll let him introduce himself.
My name is Ricardo Calderon. I support the fundraising and development with The Mix, and it's such an honor to be here today, and thank you so much for the platform. It's really always a great opportunity to share the story of The Mix. We're a small but mighty organization with a deep legacy in serving the community. So anytime we have the opportunity to share our story with a larger network and a larger community, it's always an honor and a blessing. So thank you for having us today.
Well, thank you both for being here. The Mix is a very important mission serving the inner city youth of Lancaster and even a little beyond. So we really want to hear about all of the good work that's going on. You celebrated 40 years this year. Impeccable. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And just want to know a little bit more about what you do.
Absolutely. You want to start, bud? So I think I'll start with the celebrating 40 years. It's been such a great honor, and that speaks to not just legacy, but it really speaks to the amazing work that comes from community coming together. So anything that lasts 40 years is a huge feat, right? Like whether it's business, whether it's relationship, whether it's whatever the case may be. So to be able to kind of take on that journey this past year, engage with stakeholders, engage with the founders, engage with the founding members and the many committees that came together. So The Mix, formerly known as Arbor Place, that's how originally was started as Arbor Place. And it was started by a group of Mennonite churches and communities that came together to really create space for a safe haven for young people. There was really a need in the time where they noticed that there wasn't many opportunities for young people and families to come together in fellowship. So
in the Southeast, or is this
in the Southeast,
larger?
just regionally, regionally,
Okay.
just looking across the landscape, and it was possible to start in many places. And the story is pretty rich in terms of the founding members really going around and meeting with communities that wanted to embrace the idea of having a safe haven. So landed in the southeast area of Lancaster, and just to be able to celebrate that, to be able to engage with those folks over the past couple months and years. And then in that event, our 40th year celebration was just such a beautiful time. If you were in the room, you could feel the love. You can feel the joy of people.
I heard the energy. Energy was just so amazing. I missed it, but you can almost feel it. It's palpable even off of you all.
You have to catch us at the next 40.
Next 40. Oh gosh.
And while we're celebrating the 40.
Or 50.
Or 50.
I think I could do 50 as opposed to 40.
Okay. While the celebration of the 40th is going on, the 40th is going on, we are developing youth. That's what we do. Mm-hmm. That is what we, so it's kind of like yin and yang. So, he's the celebrating, but outside of that, every day we're transforming lives because of the development of the students and the families that we are touching every day. Yes. And I can say that because I'm with them just about every day, helping to develop them.
Yes. And Joe, how long have you been with the organization? Because you are part of the legacy that Ricardo spoke about.
100%.
I think to date I am 13 years.
13 years. Wow. So you were pretty much like born there.
Something like that. Not quite, but.
So youth development. Tell us about these youth development programs and what services are provided to the youth, and part of your mission, empowering families. How do you even extend that continuum outside of just what you provide within your four walls?
Yeah, go for Bob.
Oh, I mean, anything and everything from homework, sports recreation, STEM, cooking, I'm missing a lot. Photography, so that the creative sort of arts, the creative side of things, music, is developing, what we think are careers that they can go into, but then it's going into the things that they want to do.
Right.
So there's sometimes that they want to be writers, sometimes it's poets, and sometimes it's architecture, sometimes it's it's stuff that we don't even that the students bring to us and say, I want to learn a little more about this science.
Yes.
We have a lot of students that are really into science. Korean language, so they want to learn other languages, and they're coming to Mr. Joe. I know how to write my name in Korean now, and they're like literally coming to me and saying, Mr. Joe, I know how to read in Korean, or I know how to write in Korean. So it's really bringing a holistic approach to the things that they want, not just the things that we think about.
You're exposing youth, the children that come there, to a diverse set of programs, really not only structurally of what you have already there, but even if a child comes with an interest, that you're open and willing to listen and say, hey, how might we integrate? So programmatically, is it it's an after school environment, or when do the children actually come to the program? Tell us a little bit more, like sort of logistically. Is it
It's definitely after school.
After school program.
After school program between the hours of, I would say, 3:30 and 6:30.
Is it drop in or pretty much?
Yeah, for sure, drop in. I think historically for a long time it's been an after school space where that's been the bread and butter, if you will.
Gotcha.
For the lack of a better term. I think what's exciting about this past year and the past couple years has been the expansion of recognizing that young people have many different needs, and the mix is really growing to be able to meet those needs. So another program highlight in terms of what Joe was talking about, an extension of that and serving the older young people, is our paid work experience program, Youth Work. So really being able to provide young folks with the opportunity for professional development, not just in terms of resume building and how you interview, but like real groundwork experience in these different industries that otherwise they wouldn't have access to. And that support is just very, very key. So through this after school space and that out of school time, a lot of opportunities have grown in how we serve the young people and their families, because these opportunities are also extended to their families as well. So,
well, you come and you think you're coming to play and enjoy an after-school program, but really, as a kid, it really is about learning and development. And so, it might be in that setting of, come drop in after school, but when they get there, the children are exposed to so many activities and so many different programmatic items that they can, pretty much come in and learn creative aspect, the sciences, the technology, engineering, math, the job training program. And you also provide healthy meal and dinner and snacks.
Absolutely. Yeah, every single day.
And it's a fully cooked meal. It's not just like, here's a sandwich and here, so really it's like you said, it's this holistic approach to serving this child. Tell us a little bit more about specifically kind of what areas do you think are the most needed with the children that you all see?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
It varies.
It really varies.
To me, I mean, personally, it varies from, student to student, family to family. True. I think, at the foundation, they all need that structure and development. Right. I'm always going to go back to that.
Okay.
Just how I was raised.
Right.
Structure and development.
Right.
Structure, if you get the structure at home, if you get the structure around, the teachers, then you will develop into who you need to be, but with our guidance. And I think that's what we're doing every day.
That's wonderful. Yeah. That's wonderful. I want to go a little bit back. I'm really interested about how it started, and the evolution from Mennonite churches or individuals coming together and recognizing that there was a need. But how did it really sort of start? What was the genesis of actually a building and the location? Was it just purely this group coming together, or how was the city? I'm just curious as sort of a little bit more about that history.
100%. I'll share a little bit. I think the beauty of the legacy of it is I'm still learning the details of how incredible it was for a community to genuinely come together in this effort.
Yes.
So a lot of credit needs to be given to Pastor Marvin Weaver and Lois Weaver, who were just incredible beacons of hope and great people. Yeah, Joe and I had the honor maybe over a year ago.
The founders?
The founders, absolutely, the founders. Wow. So as the story goes, as legend has it. They were part of a Mennonite church, and they were realizing that in other spaces numbers were pretty low, and they wanted more family engagement. So they were actually asked to be leaders in that space to kind of encourage community to come out and be more involved with the church. One thing led to another, and they really realized that they didn't have at the time space for young people and families to really come together in a safe way to engage, to lead with their faith, to be able to engage with that. And one thing led to another, and many committees and many meetings and many votes and things had to take place. But at the core of the story, you had many individuals and groups who started to really believe in the mission and the idea of creating a space like this. So one thing led to another. Some support ended up happening. There was actually a meeting that took place that wasn't the greatest in terms of the result they wanted, but a major story was written in the paper, which drew a lot of attention and support. From there, so many different funders came to the table and said, how can we support? And then long story short, they, after shopping many different locations, found the old burlap factory and were able to start the ground roots there in terms of the actual physical building. And around 2010, there was a major redoing of the building.
Yes. So it wasn't built from the ground up, but it was totally or was it built?
No, it was.
No,
it was
yeah,
built
that
from the
building
ground
was
up.
taken down and it was ground up. Absolutely.
State-of-the-art facility.
And now we have a state-of-the-art facility. We have a beautiful gymnasium. We have a recording studio, fully equipped music studio.
Oh my goodness.
We have a production studio that feels like this. We don't want to do competition, but it's very much so accessible to photographers.
No, children
videographers.
compete.
Right,
Yes, we want children to.
100%. A STEM room, a restorative room. Again, just ways to be able to see people and meet them where they're at.
How many children do you see how many children on any given day, month, year? I know it kind of probably fluctuates a little bit.
I would say daily it could be range from between, I would say 60 to
Wait, did you say 60?
Yeah, we're starting at about 60, 65, and it goes up from there.
60, 65 children.
Yeah.
Day in, coming to your after-school program, receiving these program services, and 60. That's a lot of children.
Yes, it is.
That's
I've been
a lot
there.
of kids.
I have been there when we had probably close to 100,
Oh
and
my
that
goodness.
was starting to that was starting to feel like, wow, this is a lot of students.
But still, that just it just makes you think of the need that's in our community. Even beyond the Southeast, that children could come. And that there is this need
and that's
to
not
engage
counting
them.
summer programming.
Let's talk about the summer program.
I've been there too.
What a perfect segue. So Joe, tell us. So every day after school, STEM programming, recordings, all of these things, as well as the meal. Tell us about your your summer program.
It's almost the same structure.
But it's all day though.
It's all day.
Okay.
Yeah, no, summer camp, summer at the mix.
Mixing it up at the
summer at the mix is what we go by, and it is all day. Usually, I would say like a typical 9 to 3, 9 to 4. Again, the highlight usually, I want you to take a guess. What do you think the highlight is for summer camp?
For children to get there? I'm thinking food, but...
Give me the next one.
That would be my highlight.
Give me the next one.
The pool?
The pool. I mean, they swim.
Ding, ding.
They swim all over the place. Every week, every day. Well, no, not every day, but every week. I think they go to the pool twice a week. But they love, again, they love the swimming aspect. But again, it was... continue that structure even through the summertime when it's a little more relaxed, it's a little more casual, but you're still going to learn over the summer. So
there's still a structured program to provide that continuity from the school year, so there's not that summer slip as folks have.
Absolutely.
But they're also having a great time.
Yeah.
And what my number one is the food. They're getting food. That's what they say. Have food will come. But what else do you do through the summer? And you're responsible for ensuring that there are funds so that all of this fantastic programming can occur.
Yeah.
And so how is the mix funded? Is it just purely community support, individual donors? How is this program funded?
Yeah, so like many nonprofits, grants are some of our best friends, right?
Yes.
For better or worse.
Yes.
But again, I really go back to the legacy piece of individuals and groups supporting organizations. It really, really is led by individuals.
People.
Caring community partners. It's people.
Yeah.
It's people. And that's always going to be the backbone of what this organization does. Especially even when it doesn't come to financial support. Like a lot of these programs are possible because people donating their time. We have a lot of great community partners that come out that are experts in their fields to be able to go back to the exposure and development with young people and families to be able to bring their talents, bring their resources, bring their skill sets. And even the staff. The staff is made up of so many incredible individuals who have different passions and diverse. We have retired educators. We have musicians who are incredible at their craft, bringing their skill sets to it. We have a mother who leads with that care and love in terms of her leadership, right? So the community and people are at the backbone of all of it. But when it comes to fundraising development, we lean on the community. So a lot of different partnerships. We have some incredible legacy partners that have always supported. They're the type of people that you don't have to send an email or a letter to anything. They are just showing up
regardless.
and of course, always looking to develop new relationships as we usher in the new decade of the mix and what we're looking to do. We're in a beautiful space right now where we're looking at the future of the mix and what that looks like, because we are understanding that to continue to meet the needs of our community, we have to be willing to be flexible and evolve with that change. And that's the only reason why we've lasted 40 years, is because every couple years, the staff at the time, the board at the time, has said, hey, where do we need to be for the community?
So have you had conversations about what is next for the so you've celebrated 40 and now we're talking about 50, but telling about the next. So what are some of, I know that there's some restructuring going on. Can you give us a little sneak peek, or is there any sort of little nuggets that you might be able to share to usher in the next decade or the next 40?
In 1 second?
Yeah.
I think it goes back to being able to really assess where our community is at and where young people are. And I want to go back to highlighting our Youth Works program, because that's such a major addition to our organization in terms of being able to, in a safe way and a healthy way, engage the older young folks, which is such a hard demographic to engage.
So this is an older group. Let me take a step back. So it's an older group that's in that youth program.
12,
I'm so sorry.
12 to 24-year-olds.
Oh my goodness.
Who are enrolled in school. So either college student, high school student, and again, providing those opportunities for them to learn and get exposure and express themselves through their development in their career. Yeah.
I must have missed that. I think I was focusing on the food.
It's okay. We all are.
Or something.
Absolutely.
But wow, and that really is a demographic that there's not a lot of programming that specifically focuses on that group that are, going, middle school, high school, and getting ready to go into the workplace, but also even over 18.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Wow.
I mean, again, talking about the need, they want to work, they want to do something, but I think more so they're just trying to figure it out.
Right.
They're trying to figure it out. So it's like, okay, we have the tools, we have the skill sets, we have the people that can give you the skill set. Hey, let's go, let's see if you want to be the next chef. Let's see if you want to be the next, automotive tech. Let's see if you want to be the next aviation. I mean, there's so many different things that the students, or I'll call them young students, that they come through and they want to explore, but they just don't even know how to get into it. So we then just connect them, their want to the resource that we have, and make it work.
And that's wonderful. So I love the way, Ricardo, that you said it goes back to legacy, and it goes back to individuals that are even donating their time. So what type of partnerships do you have that come in? We mentioned some of the STEM things. You mentioned aviation. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm assuming that, you do invite community partners that come in and share. What are some types of maybe businesses, organizations, groups, people that have come in and done some programming? I'm just so curious. I'm just so curious as to all that you offer.
It's a lot. To be
almost
honest,
you can't even.
I'm drawing a blank, but there are a number.
Oh my goodness.
Just different. I mean, you name it.
Right.
We probably have had them in the building.
Right. Wow. Budgeting or money matters, things like that.
Yes.
So I'm assuming maybe, again, I don't want to make any volunteers. So how many staff do you have?
We always need them. That's a great question. Including after school staff, we're probably the size like 20, 25.
How many volunteers? Because I know that usually can be an extension of staff. Do you really rely on a large contingent of volunteers for the day to day? You need. They need volunteers. They need volunteers.
We had some of our incredible volunteers this morning at the mix, helping clean up some of the outside. But you could be one more volunteer if you want to sign up and help. We always have opportunities.
And a lot of various, church partnerships.
Right.
Anything that you want to do to inspire the youth as a volunteer.
So if someone wants to volunteer, where would they go? Would they go to your website?
100%. So if you go to the mixlancaster.org, you can find all of our information. We have a volunteer form, interest form that you can fill out, and it'll kind of align with what your passions are and the needs that we have at the time. Talent, time, treasure. We will accept any type of partnership that is about inspiring young people and empowering families. If you can be a part of doing that, we have a home for you, and we'll make it work. The
other thing I noticed, not only is your website provides all of that information about volunteering, you also have swag that you can get. I loved it. The shirt, it said "I am resilient," and I just thought that it was so meaningful for the youth that you serve and the need for resiliency. I'm sure some children may have, family situations that might not be as optimal, and to bring them into this space of community, of love, of structure, of development. I mean, you're changing the future of our community. And I just want to personally thank you for all that you're doing. And I also, from the website, just want to close with a quote that you all have from Rita Pearson. And I'm going to read it because I don't have it memorized, but it just really rings to what we've been talking about today. And it says, "Every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists that they become the best they can possibly be." And I think that's the perfect descriptor for the mix. And so I hope that you all have enjoyed learning a little bit about this program. If you're interested in volunteering, it's themixlancaster.org.
themixlancaster.org.
Thank you for being with us today, and we'll look forward to seeing you again.